Alright guys, so the fitment on the 240SX right now isn't that wonderful. It's pretty gross looking actually. At least in the rear. The front's pretty nice looking. The rear just got some huge tires. It's like lifted in the back, so we're gonna go ahead and lower the back, throw some wheel spacers on, roll the fenders, get it looking all hella flush Dance Nation, super low, rubbing on everything. Super low, yeah. So we're gonna do that, it's gonna be pretty nice. So then we won't have any more hovercraft fitment. Yeah, none of that. Alright, so now we're gonna be lowering the car because actually, look at this. This is like here, which is fine. But like this rear tire is a much like hot, like not like it's a bigger profile tire. It's a 60 R16, and then up front we've got a 40 R17. But this sidewall is much smaller than the back one. So the rear of the car is like a solid maybe 1.5, 2 inches higher than the back, and it looks really weird. So you can kind of see it here. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the rear coilovers down a little bit, lower them, and then we're gonna adjust the camber afterwards. I got a tool so we can actually see how much camber we have, so we can get it pretty close to zero. We're gonna go ahead and throw our wheel spacers in, so we'll be super tight. Get rid of all of this like hovercraft fitment right here, and then we're probably gonna have to roll the fenders a little bit, but that'll be fine. So we have a fender rolling tool now. Like, look at this. This is just like gross. Like, honestly, hovercraft right there. Alright, so right now we're gonna smack our wheel spacers on. Put those on there. It's like 25 millimeters. They're like 1-inch spacers. And I mean, we can get them to go straight on. We're gonna do that. And then I'm not gonna touch the camber yet. Right now I'm just gonna lower the car like, I don't know, a lot. Like take a lot of those threads out. All we're gonna do is send the coil over, then we're gonna put the spacer on. And when we lower the car, it should gain a lot of negative camber because we're lowering the car. And then the tire should tuck under the fender. And then once we look at that, we'll figure out what we gotta do, what we're gonna have to roll out of the fender with our fender rolling tool. We'll be able to jack the car back up, take off the wheel, and then pull the fender out as much as we need to and adjust the camber to get it as close to zero, maybe a little bit of negative camber. So let's do that. All right, so right now we're just gonna go ahead and lower the coil over. Pretty simple process. Just get our wrench in there, smack it on this thing, and lower that. I didn't choose the stance life. Stance life chose me. Oh! Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sick! Sick, bruh. Oh my toe. Is that what you want it to look like? I don't want to have this look like negative camber. That's so much better. Oh, my finger test. Oh my gosh, is it resting on the tire? Like, what even? Do you have a credit card, Will?
I do.
Can you get one out?
No.
Like, just looking right here, you can see how much negative camber is in the back. It's a significant amount, so, I mean, right now, this is, like, super tight. Like, credit card, like, I don't know how it's fitting. Like, you can't, like, this is, like, barely, it's, like, it's rubbing on that. Like, the tire's not touching the fender right now, but right now, it's a ton of negative camber. So first we're gonna roll the fenders out, and then we're gonna roll them out a little bit. Then we'll go ahead and adjust the upper control arm in the back. I'll dial a little bit of the negative camber out, and then we should be super tight, flush, hella flush, Dance Nation, and no rub, because we don't want rub because that sounds like crap. So good. But first things first, we're gonna go ahead and get our fender roller on the wheel and pull it out a little bit. Just make a little bit of room so we won't rub the tire on it.
So like 2 weekends ago, I ended up destroying this fender roller. Like I modified it because my car was really low and it wouldn't fit on, so I just lopped off a bunch right here. You can see I cut that, and then I cut this thing right there. And then like, where is it? I drilled some new holes on this. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be able to fit it. My car's really low, I'll be able to do it. I ended up doing some weird things, putting some angles and pressure where it's not supposed to be. Completely destroyed the threads on this thing. Ended up snapping the thing off. It tightens it against the fender, so it was completely useless. Ended up getting a refund on that. I got a new one here. It's all nice put together. So right now I've just got the lower control arm braced on the jack. I was gonna bolt it back up, but I was like, I pulled it off and I was just like, this is fine. I just need it to not move down more. So I bolted this thing on. This thing fits perfectly. I've done a little rolling. I'm not heating it up or anything. But like you can see, it's bowed out a little bit here. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting the alignment done as close as I can to zero camber in the back. Put the spacer on, put the wheel on, and I guess I'll drop it down and see if this is enough, because it's looking pretty good compared to how it was before. So what I didn't really want to happen happened. Obviously the car is messed up right here, but like this piece right here, you can kind of see the indent. And when I was pulling this out, it just like bowed in. And it's not like you can just smack it from the other end with the hammer. Like there's stuff right there in the way, so you can't really get to it. I guess you just gotta live with it now. Oh my, I just made it work. What the? I can pull it out with my magnetic thing. Oh, yes. No, it's not strong enough. But it's like, definitely can't pull that out. But it's like right on the edge of being able to be pulled out. So I actually might be able to pull it out somehow. Not with this, this is just taking off the paint. So I should stop doing that. Okay. So I've got this fender flared out. As you can see, that's not it's just like flared out like that. Very similar to the fender on that side. And I'm really angry with myself because I was like, this is the last one. I made a small dent right here. You can see it right there. I might be able to pull it out with a suction cup, but we'll see. So I went ahead and lowered the rear of the car and then adjusted the upper control arms, and now you can see the fender's rolled, but there is a stupid amount of toe out in the back. And I'm guessing this is just how the factory suspension responds to being lowered, and then since I used the upper control arm to dial out all of the camber, I guess that it just got really sad and decided to toe out a ton. I just it's like really like, it's like I can't drive the car. It's like, what? They just destroy the tires if I drove it like this. And it's just like, there's no point. Like there's got to be at least like 8 degrees of toe out. It's like gross. Like what? Like the tire's just like in the middle of nowhere. Look at that. It's like you can see there's so much in the back. So
alright, so I was having issues with when I dialed back the negative camber in the car, getting it closer to zero camber so I'll have more even tire wear. The car was just towing out a ton. There was a ton of toe out in the back, like so much, like you could see the tire was really at a really awkward angle. So I really needed to be able to adjust the rear toe. And obviously, with the factory toe arms, there's very little adjustment you can do. So I had to go ahead and pick up some adjustable toe arms. So I wanted to get a full set of suspension arms, like rear upper control arms, traction rods, tension rods, and of course toe arms. But that didn't really make sense to do just because I don't have enough money to buy them, so I couldn't buy the whole set. And I want the car to work, so I'm slowly piecing together everything I'm gonna need, and maybe it will end up costing a little bit more at the end of the day, but at least I'll be able to use the car. So I picked up a set of Godspeed rear toe arms. I got a set of angled ones just so it'll give me a little bit more clearance right here, just so I don't have to worry about it. I'm sure it would be fine with the factory ones or getting a non-angled one, but I decided to get them anyway.
So this should let us dial out all of the toe in the back just so we can get it closer to 0 toe. Obviously, I'm going to do as best I can just to eyeball and get it as close to 0 or as close to 0 toe as I can. And then I'll probably have to drive it to an alignment shop just so they can get the correct alignment on it, because it's not really supposed to be 0 toe, and obviously I won't get it exactly what it's supposed to be. I'm just going to get it as close to as drivable and as easy to be driven as possible, and then we will be able to have a nice alignment and the car won't feel super sketchy when we're driving fast. Alrighty. And the one on the inside back there, it just so seized on there. It probably hasn't been taken off in a really long time. And the axle is right in the way of where I would fit in a socket wrench on the other side. I don't have a short enough socket that would fit on the other side, so I think I'm gonna have to remove the axle in order to break that bolt loose, which is gonna be a complete pain, but I think it's the best way to do it. So it took about 30 minutes, but with this strap and that strap over there, I was able to hold this broken torque wrench in place. It's just locked. You can't tighten or switch from tightening to loose, and it's just completely locked like a breaker bar. I strapped that on that side so it wouldn't move, and then I used my actual breaker bar to break loose the nut on the other side. It took about 30 minutes to figure out the right strap situation, remove the axle, and I finally got that bolt off over there. This was a complete pain, and I hope it's not this bad on the other side or I'm going to be really sad. So I adjusted the camber arms, and I am about at 1 degree of positive camber. Obviously the car's not flat because it's on jack stands on the driveway, and it's just not flat. If I remember, I pulled about 5 degrees of camber out, so this should bring it about to 0. Obviously it's not going to be perfect. I just want it to be a little bit better than what it is right now, and that's what this is going to do. So now I'm just going to go ahead and stick our new toe arm in and try and get it adjusted as close to 0 toe as possible. Get this wheel as flush with side of the car as we can, but with our eyeballs. So I have the new toe arm on. I have it adjusted. I have about even. The tire's almost straight, almost no toe in the back. I'm gonna have to bring it to an alignment shop to get it actually fine-tuned, but this is fine for now. And then I'm going ahead and putting the axle back in because I had to take it off to get access to this bolt over here so I could actually remove the toe arm. So this is actually pretty nice. I think it's about 0 camber, and oh my gosh, I rolled this fender perfectly. It's like just enough so that the tire will tuck under, but I think it will be impossible for it to actually rub, but it's like, oh, that's so nice. Yes. So if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and follow my new Instagram. It's completely new. It's George Goes Drifting. It's the exact same as the YouTube channel. If you can't figure that out, I don't know what you're doing. So go do that. It's in the description. You can look at it on the screen, or you can just go to Instagram and type in George Goes Drifting, and then you search it and you hit follow, and you're like following me, and you can see all the stuff I do on Instagram. That's pretty cool. Okay guys, bye.